What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the Built for War podcast. I am your host, Austin Trotter, accompanied by my co-host, Mr. U90 kg athlete, Michael Musick.
What's up, strength freaks?
And for those of you that don't know, obviously, this is coming out a little earlier than your regular schedule.
It is. Got a little surprise for you guys. And you can see we're on location. Look at us looking like news people and shit.
Yeah. I know. So if you guys hear us gripping the mic a little too weird, it's because we're not in the stand anymore.
Right. And we're bougie. Like, we got stands and stuff that adjust to our mouths.
Yeah.
Instead of not hold shit. So.
I was running out of weight in my suitcase. So.
Oh, yeah. There's no reason to bring those.
I was we're good with what we got.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, yeah, for those of you that don't know and can't read, we're at OSG 2023 World Finals in Charleston, West Virginia.
Yep, we are. And we're sitting here in our B&B. It's actually a really cool place. So
I'm sipping on a bad to the bone Yingling lager.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, it is the America's oldest brewery.
That's amazing. When you told me about that, and I had one with dinner, and it was lovely. I'm not a huge beer drinker, but that's actually a really good beer.
It is my favorite beer, but they do not sell it west of the Mississippi, so Colorado doesn't get it.
No.
Super unfortunate. But
super.
Let's jump into it. We're day one, OSG.
Yep.
You flew out 2 days ago. You've been here for 2 days.
Yep.
Let's just start off with weigh-ins.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We flew out Wednesday. Today, right now, as we're shooting this is day one. This is Friday. So I flew out on Wednesday, and Wednesday was like my complete fast. I had done like a fast for you guys that never water cut or anything like that. I did like a couple day fast leading up into Wednesday, and I flew out Wednesday. So Tuesday was technically a fast. I ate like twice, and I mean literally a calorie count. My Tuesday was probably less than 500 calories, like just barely nothing, getting myself ready.
That's not even a meal.
No, it literally was like, I fasted that because I went to sleep the night prior, so whatever, Monday, and I ate super early, super low carb, and then went into Tuesday. I didn't even eat my first. All I had with me is I cooked 4 chicken patties, like basic chicken patties with a little bit of bread, and I didn't eat my first one until like 1:30. I was working all day Tuesday until like 7 o'clock.
That's always the worst, having to like cut.
Yeah,
and work
that's
at the
what I
same
mean,
time.
right? And like, it's our business, and as contractors, like it's not. You don't have a boss to tell you when to get off. It's like the job has to be to a certain point so you can leave out of town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And things are still getting done. So yeah, that was a rough day. Fasted into that, and then went straight into Wednesday. Fasted all day. We flew out pretty early, like 9, and then we had a layover in Chicago. So we were here in town about 4 o'clock.
I feel like everybody left, like whether it was Wednesday or Thursday, because we flew out yesterday. But we also had a very early day, and then had the layover, and we still didn't get here till like 5.
Yeah. It was the same. We just did it 24 hours before him. And so I got here, and then, I actually took a couple tips. Shouts out to Josh Harrelson and Ethan Atkins for tipping me off. Because normally I'll do a water cut with, like, I have to find a gym. You know, you fly into a new town, you got to find a gym. And for you guys that don't know what that is, it's like you have to do... You're fasting, no water, no food, no nothing, and then with traveling, and then you literally do 20 minutes in like 160, 150, as hot as you can possibly get it. Do it for about 20 minutes, and then walk out for maybe 10, and then go back in. And you do that until, and usually on the normalness, you're like every 20 minutes, you're maybe dropping about a pound and 0.2.
Yeah, I don't know what the math works out to, but you could basically, depending on how big your water cut is, like the first time that I water cut, I cut 30, I believe it was 32 pounds.
That's so crazy.
But I was also there all day.
It takes, it takes all day.
Yeah.
Like if I had a bigger cut, I would have had to fly in like Tuesday. And then do some sauning Tuesday,
and like completely focus on just pulling everything
out.
Yeah,
and it sucks being at a gym, like a local gym. You're hanging out in the locker room all day.
Well, and you get those gym bros that are in there like working out, and they're like passing water around.
And
like,
dude, literally,
it's so hard to focus on one of those water cuts.
It's so it is. It's intense, and like you are so like in another mind zone, and these guys are in here just sipping water. It's crazy. So
jerks.
Yeah. I mean, whatever.
I'm over here trying to die.
Yeah, literally. And so they tipped us off. So for any of you guys that do water cut, man, get on Amazon, $150. Get yourself one of those little sauna tents. They got different ones. They got suits. They got full standing ones. I got one of the little ones that you kind of pop your head up out of it. And
it's got a sweet little camping chair.
It does a camping chair with it, dude. Yep. It's a whole kit. It fit in my check bag. And no big deal, not overweighed or anything. Just basic check bag. And you pull it out, boom, do it. And used that Wednesday night until I started. By the time we got to the B and got set up and everything, I think I started sauning about 7 at night.
Yeah.
And then I went to bed probably about midnight. And so I'd done, and I mean, I was like slowly doing it because this, compared to Texas to this one, because Texas is really rough. And then like in total, I think I cut like 17 pounds, 16, 17, where this one was about a like 10. Like,
you actually you were cutting down for a month to 2 months prior.
Yeah.
And then it was only a 10-pound
exactly.
water cut, like just stop eating, stop drinking.
Yep.
So it wasn't like as miserable as getting that extra 7 pounds
exactly
off.
And that's what caught me in Texas was like, seems super easy to drop. Like you get past like 8-9 pounds, it's not terrible.
Yeah.
And then when you start, and I remember that last up there, that last like 5-6 pounds was the death of me. And so I told myself going into this, I was like, you got to be at least 6-7 pounds lighter, bro.
Oh yeah,
you have to.
Yeah.
So actually Wednesday night was really good. I was like 20 minutes on doing my thing, but I'd get out and stay out for like 15-20 minutes. And literally I think and we were watching movies. So like, I mean, I think I sauned like 4 times. And by the time I started sauning, I was at like 207. And then by the time I went to bed, I was like 201. And it was super easy, right? So I'm like, babe, this is awesome. And the nice thing about that sauna suit is your head's out, so your body's taking everything, but like your throat isn't. So like the thirst is, oh my God.
Yeah,
so,
you're not breathing in the hot air, which dries out your mouth.
Yeah, like because when you dry out your mouth and you can't even bring saliva into your mouth, like the thought of water.
Yeah, that I need to get water so
like
bad.
literally you understand like the depths of hell. Like you're never gonna get a sip of water again. Like it's so bad.
After watching you go through this and watching you go through other cuts, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to just get one of these, even for at the house.
Dude, they're great. I mean, it was literally, that was such a game changer. Like I could get the weight off, everything, but like I could stay my head above and keep my throat pretty okay.
And you can like sit there and watch TV.
We sat there and I watched Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't remember what we watched.
It keeps your mind off of everything.
Compared to like in a locker room with a bunch of bros around you, you're not even looking at anybody. You're just jamming the same fucking songs over and over in your head.
Yeah.
Hoping this dude, like you can't even look at water. And then what? To escape it for 5-10 minutes to go lay on a fucking, a
bench.
Yeah, a bench in a locker room. Dude's naked everywhere. Like, you know, and it's just like...
It's just terrible.
And you're dying. And these people are like, hey, man, can you get up? I need to, like, change my... You know what I mean? It's just...
Like, hey, you mind if I get by you? I need to grab my shirt.
Yeah, you're dying.
And it's like, all right, yeah, I understand. But at the same time, like, just leave me here to die.
Dude, literally, like, you're, like, trying to do your thing. So that was just such a game changer, dude. I'm telling you, for anybody who's doing it, buy it. It is so worth it. And it works amazing. It really did. And so I woke up... Thursday morning, and our cuts, like weigh-ins, were from 10 to 5 all day. So, which was really nice because sometimes
it's so nice because sometimes there's only like a 2-hour window.
Yeah, so like in Texas, there was a 2-hour window. Like you could either do 9 to I think 11, or then you couldn't come in until like 3:30 to 5. And it was like, dude, I'm not waiting all day.
No,
so you have to hit that.
You have to hit that morning cut.
Exactly. So I was like, that's really nice. So I woke up, I think the next morning, and I was still holding right at like 200. So I was like, dude, cool. It's 8 o'clock. I was like, man, I'm going to get this done, a couple saunas. Because in my head, I'm thinking 20 minutes. That's about a pound and a half.
Yeah.
Another, you know what I mean? I was like, that's 2-3 saunas. Dude, there's something about the body. And like, it's really making me think about water cuts and so forth. And that 2 pounds took me from 8 o'clock. I didn't get done sauning. I mean, 20 minutes on. There was a couple times at the end. I wasn't even out for 3-4 minutes. I literally got out to wipe myself and then get right back in.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even leave the house until I started at 8 o'clock. Got up, had it turned on, just jumped right into it. And because all I wanted to do was drink something. And I was like, let's get these weigh-ins at 10 o'clock. I want to be the first motherfucker there.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's how I was Nationals 2022.
Yeah, just first dude.
Or 21, yeah.
I didn't even leave the house until 11:45 to make 2 pounds.
Yuck.
Dude, it literally, I remember I jumped in almost 3 times, got on the scale, and it never changed. Like nothing was happening. Like my body was like, and at that point I'm like,
you were still sweating though, right?
Sweating.
Yeah.
But then I noticed I got in again. It would take almost 15 minutes for my body just to start sweating. So it's like really I'm only sweating for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I ended up having to like get out to get right back in. Like, and then luckily it did it. But oh my dude, I couldn't even. I had to wake her up and I was like, babe, you got to drive. Like I was so like out of it. But luckily we jumped on that scale.
Yeah.
And but I felt pretty good. Like I mean I was death, but like this was so much better than Texas. And went weighed in, no problems. Way under, like not way under, but like perfect. You know what I mean?
Like within a couple of pounds.
I needed to
enough to be out of the clear
Yep.
or in the clear 100%.
Yeah, no questions asked. Yeah, because that's the worst, right? You get on there and like they're like, well, you're like 2.2 pounds off and leave and go do all that. So I made sure. And luckily I had an accurate scale. And so it was 90 kilo, which is 198. And I made sure that my body was sitting at like 197.2. Got on the scale, 89.6 kilos or whatever that. She's like, oh, you're golden.
You're golden.
I was like, yes. And then immediately IV'd, refed. And I mean, I did. I blew, my body responds really well. And I think it's a big part of it. I don't know. Just my body responds really well because I don't use any like laxatives. I don't use any, diuretics.
I feel like if you're not used to that or whatever,
exactly,
that could put you really far behind. That's something that you may have to test. But I feel like if you're taking a laxative to, shit everything out, hole in your lip. Yeah. I feel like if you do that, there's a really good chance that it could fuck you the day after.
Well, and that's the biggest thing is like when you get into that water cut, you don't care. Like you're like, I don't care, man. If I puke up bile, I don't care. You're to the point where like I'm about to cut in my arm just to bleed a little bit, just to get those points off of me. You feel that bad, and just to be done. But it's like you have to think. You have the most important part is the refeed. How are you going to feel in 12 hours?
Yeah.
So if you start messing with the stomach, puking, all this stuff, that's harder for that body to take that in and absorb it and start filling you back up.
Yeah, well, and I always notice like when I water cut, normally my stomach gets fucked up from it.
Yeah.
So I have to take an anti-diarrhea so that way I can actually hold on to everything.
And that's what I actually learned from this last one because yesterday I did eat only a couple times because I couldn't hold anything.
Right.
I mean, I was lots of water, but every time I ate something, dude, 5 minutes later,
send it right through.
Floods. You know what I mean? And like so, and I felt good, but definitely wasn't holding, all the carbs and everything that I needed to be so energized for today.
Yeah.
And so that's something on the next one that like, I'll have to probably do the same so I can actually hold something for a little bit because it was just passing. And then, but I mean, waking up today, slept great and, you guys came out and it was just like super cool and chill and slept like a baby. Like I honestly wasn't even one of those like so many guys this morning. I heard them like, oh man, I got like 3 hours of sleep this morning.
Dude, that was running like in the pit. Yeah, that's all I heard.
That's
her.
Like, dude, I'm so tired.
Just ready to go home and go to bed. I'm so tired. Yeah. And like, the day drug on for sure because and we'll get more into it here in a sec, but. It's like, I don't know. I'm also not competing, but at the same time, I slept like a fucking rock last night.
And that's one of the biggest tips I actually learned from like Mitchell Hooper and stuff. And, and some people think it might be contrary. And, do what you do. But for me, like, having a meal and then like, having like a cocktail or something like that really helps with me and like just puts me out. Yeah. And, so many people are worried like, oh, you're going to be so dehydrated. It's
you're
like,
already dehydrated.
Why are you having alcohol? Why are you doing that? And it's like, bro,
it's a mental aspect too.
It's a mental, like I went to bed last night chilling. Like it was Friday night. We're at your house chilling, watching movies.
Yep.
I passed out not even once. I remember this morning, I was snoozing my alarm, just like, so comfortable, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, the World Finals are today. You should probably get up, Mike." And you know what I mean, which is good because when you're over nervous, your nervous system's already ramped. It's fucked.
Yeah,
and that's something I have a problem with. Like I stay too amped up for too long.
Oh yeah,
and it's just bad. So so overall, the water cut was way better than last time, but we got. You're always learning, always perfection. Like, it's
and it's just, it's just one of those things that we always talk about. Like it's the reps.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's doing repetition it over and over and over and just doing it until it's as good as you possibly can.
Absolutely.
So waking up today, we woke up pretty decently late, which was great. Yeah. It was only like 8:30 that we woke up.
Yeah. And they had us go down to,
the light switch just, hey,
hey.
Thank you. The light switch is outside, and I feel like they're trying to turn some lights off.
Yeah, I think they're like trying to turn the house lights. They're just sitting there flipping, like, what's that do? What's that do?
They completely turned it off, and I was just like, yeah, maybe it'll turn back on.
Yeah, we didn't have to be there till 9:30.
Yeah.
And like...
So, yeah, we got there at 9:30, got checked in, got everything ready to go, sat down, and then basically...
Immediately,
they were like, green shirts, what are you doing up here?
Yeah, we're all just chilling like in the athlete area. And he's like, I see all my my athletes standing on the thing instead of being underneath the thing. And like, no one had any idea we were getting ready to do this massive like walkout ceremony.
Like a country walkout.
Yeah, country, each country.
Country as in like countries, like America,
like where what countries they represent.
Mexico. Not country with a K.
No, we weren't out there hoe dancing, and I mean, but
some people were.
Yeah, some were. Yeah, it's true. And but no, yeah, that was cool. That took a little bit of time, and then after that, it was just chill.
Yeah,
like definitely different compared to any other comp I've done. They're usually, from the Clash, which is a 2-hour show. So beyond fast, to local shows where it's like you get done with one event and you got to immediately start warming up for the next one.
Yeah.
And then you're waiting forever. It's still a full long day, but it's just one after another, after another, after another. And where this was like you do an event and like literally what was the time between each event? 4 hours?
Longer than
Maybe
that.
even longer.
Longer
right?
than that. We didn't get out of the venue this evening until 8 o'clock.
That's right. We came in at 9:30.
You competed. I want to say around 1:30 was your first event.
And
then we did not get out of there because and we left right after you.
I literally I got done with my run. We're like later.
Yeah,
out.
Yeah. So we were there for 12 hours.
Yep.
Got home just 8. I mean, it's 9:41, so a little less than 12 hours, and that was only for 2 events.
2 events.
Yeah.
That was it, dude.
Yeah. So first event was the overhead press medley.
Yep.
What was your implements and weights?
So the standard cement press medley was a axle wheeled, so like a 13-inch pick barbell at 265, I think, and then you get a down signal, and then you jump into a 175 dumbbell, and then you jump into a 305 anchor yoke press, and then into a 2D. Into a 245 pound block press. So it was gnarly, but my opinion going into it, like in training, I had finished it multiple times, so I was really expecting to finish it, but unfortunately, and that's the crazy thing is that with these kinds of things, you learn. You know what I mean? I went into it like. And these are split times. So like that means if you don't finish, because there is 40 something people in my class.
42 people.
42, yeah, because they took 21 from one side and 21 from the other. Yeah. Yep. So in the nation. So so like, and when you're split timing between things, like seconds are 6-7 points. It's a huge.
Well, and that's what it was too.
Yeah.
I mean, from where you were at to 10, I believe it was like 10 places. There was a 5-second time difference.
Yeah, that's what it's just
nuts, dude.
So
10 places.
You got to really like think about what you're gonna do. So it's like, of course, the best thing is just like blast through all of it as fast as you possibly can, no mistakes. But then there's the other hand of like if you're not as comfortable. So like for me, the first 2 implements, no problem. Like I could fly through those. The yoke press for me was
and those 2 events were also something that you had in your arsenal to train with.
Absolutely. They were.
Like everybody's got a standard barbell.
A barbell.
And everybody's got a fucking dumbbell anymore.
And then I had a regular yoke that I practiced on, like a full blown, same yoke.
Yeah.
These were anchor yokes.
Literally the only difference is instead of having flat legs, it literally has a round single leg that weights sit inside it.
Yeah, so you can literally just sit there and push it, and it, like those old clowns used to beat the shit out of, and they'd be like, boom, boom, boom. It was literally the same thing. So, on one side of it, I liked it because when you're doing a yoke press, you have to really pay attention to.
This podcast is sponsored by Premier TRT and Med Spa. Make sure you guys go over to www.premiertrt.com to get all of your testosterone, hormone, and peptide needs.
Absolutely. And just overall general health. I mean, you guys want to be checked out by the best in the business and people that actually care about you and your well-being and your overall health, whether it's strides and strength, admirations, or just a healthy living style. You guys cannot beat Premier TRT and Med Spa. Great family-owned style business, and you're just one of the family. And as always, get yourself checked.
Either that or go check them out at 12774 Colorado Boulevard, Suite 141 in Thornton, Colorado. Yeah. Go over there and tell Melanie we said that we sent you, Tell them that Built for War sent us.
That's right. You were hanging out with us last night, chilling, and you needed to come get checked. So, bam, there you are.
Yeah. For a low price, they'll check you out. They'll get you what you need and get you out the door so you can be back to living a healthy, lovely lifestyle like everybody else.
That's the American dream.
That's the American dream.
It really is. But no, for real, guys, always we say keep an eye on your health, and there's nobody better.
Yeah.
Premier. And, family, and just, man, you just become one of the family, okay?
You're part of the familia now.
For real. You're under my protection, okay?
Well, thank you for sponsoring us, Premier TRT, and thank you to you.
Always.
We'll see you guys. This podcast is sponsored by Cerberus Strength USA. Make sure that you guys go to cerberus-strength.us for all of your Cerberus needs.
Yeah, absolutely. They're the absolute best. They're coming up in the game. They're owning the game. Cerberus Strength is the best quality product you can possibly wear.
I mean, I tell you what, whenever I think of strongman or powerlifting nowadays, I think of Cerberus.
Dude, I think about Cerberus every day.
I mean, because I wear Cerberus every day.
It looks super sick.
It does. Make sure that if you guys want any of the gear, the equipment, accessories, apparels, they're even coming out with supplements now.
Absolutely.
Make sure that you guys go check out Cerberus Strength.
For real. They're literally one of the best in the business. Probably the best in the business. They're sponsoring everybody from strongman athletes to all the strength sport athletes out there, taking over the game. And you just know you're in safe and good hands when you rock Cerberus Strength.
And make sure that you use our code B4WAR at checkout to save you 10% at checkout.
Absolutely. And their packages always arrive, no problems, shipping, everything. So B4WAR, get you 10% off.
And thank you to Cerberus for sponsoring this podcast.
Absolutely. We love you.
We love you.
Your positioning on where you are getting under it to pick it. Mm-hmm. But then from there, it's a pretty stable thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's balanced. That one, I'm not even kidding. We were in the back. They had an anchor yoke back there. So I was like, oh, I can try this. Right. And I don't know what happened. Like, because mine was 305. In training, I've done that multiple times. And I did like 275, and it was nothing. And that's with like sitting there jumping from a barbell to this, to this, to this. And the 275 flew. So I was super confident going into it. So my game plan was like, and I'd watched some guys before and they were flying through the first two and then they fucking up the yoke because they were just going too fast. And so my game plan was like, just be a little chill and a little smooth and let's get through all these. And I did the first one, I did the second one, got to that yoke. Bro, I literally like wanted to be like, dude, I'm not even kidding. Tea time. Like, is this weight right? Because it felt like for 20 pounds or 25 pounds or whatever, it felt like they added 100 pounds on that thing. As soon as I picked that thing up,
I saw you get under it, and as soon as you got done with your first attempt at pressing that, you literally looked over and you're like, fuck.
Dude, I did. I was
like that just look of holy shit. This is handling
like
me.
I was like, what? And that's exactly how it felt. Like, you know how it is like when you pick something up and like, you have that confidence of like, just get a little fucking tighter or whatever. And I did that. I was like, okay, maybe I'm just not being tight enough. I got up on it the second time and dude, I mean, it was just, the balance of that was immediately caving on my chest. Like the elbows just feel like they're dropping immediately. And so I tried pressing it a couple times and then like time ran out. So which was whatever because I think 90%, 95% of the field, there was only two guys that actually finished it.
I think there was only two that finished it.
Yeah, so everybody got caught at the yoke. So I didn't feel as bad afterwards, but the only problem with that is now I'd lost some positionings because we all placed the same, but I wasn't as fast on the first two implements because I was expecting to finish the
which
run.
Is, I think, another reason why, because it was two pieces at...
Exactly. So your scoring is two
I think you had gotten like 20 seconds. Yeah, and Chase, who was 4 spots behind you.
Yeah, I mean, it was
3
like,
seconds.
Yeah,
3 seconds
and
slower.
then Caesar was 2 seconds ahead, and he was like however many positions up above me. And like it was like, it's crazy. So it's one of those things like you really have to have a game plan and fucking go with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like trust it and lock it. So, and I went with what my game plan. It backfired on me, unfortunately. But
it's a learning curve. It's all learning. I
Absolutely.
mean, we're at the World Finals. You're at the World Finals. Like, you're competing in the World Finals. You've been only in this sport for 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's guys that have been training their whole life.
They've been doing it like longer than I've been lifting. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they're still younger than I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like 25 and they've been doing this shit since they were like 15.
Yeah.
Like at the pro level. It's
Yeah.
like, damn. But yeah, I mean, the whole environment's sick. Like, I mean, you know, have a camera. Like, it's Giants Live. Like, I mean, the Giants Live people are there.
Yeah.
Colin Bryce. I mean, everybody you can think of is there. No different.
Yeah, it's really funny. Like, I was getting a caricature drawn with my wife, my son, and I. And Mitchell Hooper just like walked up. Yeah. World's Strongest Man walked up and was talking shit to me.
Yep. And while he was doing that, me and T-Rex, Evan Singleton, were talking shit over on the other booth.
Trey Mitchell's
wheeling his ass around.
Big ass around.
Nick Bass down there. Mark Felix.
Right after your press medley.
I was in there. He was right in front of me.
Nick Bass was like, hey,
yeah, just
like we're just sitting there. And you'll see that on the YouTube.
You'll see it, yeah.
Yeah.
Then Eddie Williams came down, said what up to him, and like, you know, it's just wild.
Sang us a song.
Yeah,
Built for War song.
that's what I told him.
He made it for us too.
He did.
He said, hey, I've been following you guys for a while, so.
He's like, you're that Built for War guy, right? And I was like, fuck yeah, I am.
He said, I'm going to sing you a song, mate.
And I was like, well, I'm kind of busy right now, bro, but write it down. Let my people know. We'll see if it works out.
Let my people know. You let your people know. I'll let my people know. We'll be in touch.
Exactly. No, but I mean, and, you know, and then we were talking about that actually at dinner, just like how amazingly, like, you know, even to the highest level of people, that's strong, man. Like, they're the just chillest people. Like, you wouldn't even know, you know. I mean, Mitchell Hooper all day, he was hanging out as like a, you know, a VIP, just someone there. And he ended up, by the end of the day, was sitting there, had a fucking volunteer shirt on, out there pushing my equipment around.
Yeah.
Sweating his ass off. You know, they sweating his ass off.
I thought you were an athlete.
Yeah. You know, but I mean, that, and anybody that volunteers, that's a rough job.
Yeah.
You're lifting all day. Like,
oh, for sure. You work harder as a volunteer than you do as,
all day.
Yeah.
I get mad respect. So
mad.
It was just really cool. So
then from there we got into the Sticks and Stones.
Yeah. 6 hours later. Into the, which is, you know, it's hard having that much downtime, you know, and like you just want to move around, but you're trying to stay calm. You don't want to amp yourself up until it's time. Which like, I had really good energy going into the Sticks and Stones, which was it was originally a 700-pound frame. And they moved it down to 670 because so many people in the previous classes everybody was failing.
Everybody was failing. Yeah,
everybody was failing.
80s went first. The Masters 50 plus went second.
Yeah.
And then it was on to the 90s. And then it was Masters 40, and then the 105s, and then the Opens.
Dude.
And supposedly, like, a lot of the girls weren't even doing their weights, so they were like, well, for the guys, we got to drop a little bit of poundage. Yeah. And even then, it hemmed up a lot of
people. It's like, you know, and that's one of those events, you just have to be honest with yourself. It's like, you may be strong enough when it comes to grip events. You may be, whether it's farmers, frames, whatever, you may in your body be strong enough to hold that kind of weight. No problem. You pick it right up off the ground and hold that. But do you have the grip to hold that? You know what I mean? There's no straps. It's just chalk, bro.
Yeah.
And for me, that is something that has been something I have been working on, and it has improved massively, but like nowhere near what it needs to be. Nowhere near.
Well, and the funny thing is like if you think about it, we were talking about it a little bit before, but the weight that you did tonight for your frame carry was World's Strongest Man 20 years ago.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like 20 years ago, there were World's Strongest
literally
Man.
Like Derek Poundstone and them, or like Marius Pujanowski are doing those same things.
Yeah.
Like literally same weights.
Yeah.
So I was really like, you know, so unfortunately it didn't go the way I wanted to. I felt great. Like literally I got amped up and I was so ready to go. And it just wasn't there, man. Like my hand, it just kept releasing. It was just not there. And I could feel that point that I learned in Texas, because the same thing happened, but that was a little different scenario because like I was pushing to stay on the podium so I could qualify. Right. So I went until I literally ripped my calluses off. Didn't even care. Did what I had to do.
Well, and that was the last event anyway.
And it was, the comp's over. So you're going to kill yourself.
Fuck it. Tear my hands right off.
This is the last event of today.
Of the first day out of possibly 3. So it was like, do you fuck up the rest of your week?
Exactly. And some people did. Like they got, they may have finished the frame. Only like, again, one or two people finished the full.
And good on them for doing that.
Absolutely.
At the same time, the plan that we had talked about, that's not in the plan.
No.
That will fuck up the plan.
It will F everything up.
Yeah.
Because, you may feel good right now. Wait till tonight. Like right now, those dudes, their hands trashed. Screaming.
Like on fire.
On fire. And then, so for I literally picked it up, and I could have sat there and just kept roughing it and going and getting a little bit of points, but I kept feeling like my calluses were getting ready just to tear. If I picked up one more time, because it was starting to get sweaty at that point, and you could feel it just rolling, and it did that. It wasn't like I was setting it back down. The grip is just losing it, and that's when it just...
Yeah, as soon it's not holding on to it. It's when you start to roll your hands out, it just pulls those things and goes...
Yeah, and I picked it like 2 or 3 times, and... it just, I was like, it's going to rip. So I just literally dropped it and I said no and just got out and was like, I'm done. I'm going to save it. Because in my head, immediately I was like, man, we got deadlifts first thing in the morning. And it's going to be a deadlift ladder, like 5 bars. I'll be dead honest. I'm not going to finish it. So my game plan is, and I don't see a lot of guys finishing it. So I believe the top times and everything are going to be like, how fast can you do 3 bars?
It's going to be just like the press medley.
It's going to be exactly like the press medley.
How fast can you get to the first 3?
Get past the first 3.
Yep.
And I was like, dude, in order to do that, you're going to have to switch grip. Like, you have to move. And
no time getting latched onto the bar.
You cannot sit there and fuck around. Like, you have to just rip and grip and go.
Yeah.
And if my hands are fucked up, I don't care how tough you are. There's so many nerves in the hand. The second you try to grab something, it's going to sting you. It's going to, you know what I mean? Or you're going to do it. And then
unless you're one of those people that can just shut pain off.
I mean, and good on you if you can do it.
Even then, if you're not one of those people, you're fucked.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, like, at all.
Yeah.
You're going to go try to grab that bar, and it's going to hurt, and you're going to focus on that.
Exactly. Hurt. Or you're going to get stuck midway when that's like when you need that strength. And it's like, dude, your hands are just like, nope. And this is, and then they're gonna, mess it up, and then go for the straps, and then go for another pull, and it's like, and they just tax themselves, and
then there's an extra 15 seconds lost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's it. And because that's basically how much effort you put into that, it's like that's almost like trying to pull another weight again. So a lot of times they fail the second rep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll go first, second, go for that third. And like fail it, go to put the straps on, go for the third again, and like they might not even finish the lift.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you just completely fucked yourself.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, and I can just like manifest it. I can see it, and so I was like, save it. It's good. And I didn't tear up my back, my body, nothing. So like I felt good. I was like, fuck it. Like I'm pissed, but like it is what it is. My body feels good for tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
And then after that, we got Go Ruck, which is a huge carry medley. And you got to use your hands for that. It's a sled pull, a 2 carry sandbag, and then into a nasty drag.
Yeah.
With a ruck on you. So you're really going to need those hands to be working and feeling. And so I just kept that in my back of my mind. So tomorrow we're kind of we're not in the best positioning right now, but tomorrow is like it's a game day. Like this is the last day unless 2 make it to that third day.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and it's top 10 make it to the third day.
Yeah.
Right?
So we go 40 to top 10 after the second day. So after the end of the Go Ruck tomorrow, whoever's in that top 10 gets to go on to Sunday. Everybody else, thanks for being here. See you later.
See you down the road.
Yeah, you're out.
Yep. Qualify next year.
Yep, exactly. You got to qualify next year. So the guys that do make it, not only are you top 10 in the world, you're in the finals to compete on the third day. You automatically get your invite for next year. So it's like no more regionals. Like you just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was my goal. Like, A, I just want to be in the top 10. And B, then I don't have to qualify. It's like I have all the way until next year to fix all these problems.
Yeah, exactly.
I've experienced all this. I kind of know. I'm sitting there with multiple World's Strongest Man 90s, Nikolai Myers, Naramu, whatever.
Yeah.
And, these guys are 2019s, 2020s, Shane fucking German from MST Systems.
Yeah.
Josh Lancaster. Like these fucking main 90 dudes of the world. And, and they're right there. And it's just... It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I was saying with the grip thing is like, press medley might be one thing. And then the grip, like, fuck, I beat out Shane. Didn't do good, but like I was like,
that matters.
Yes. There's that little one, like,
Yep.
and he knows it. And I'm the same way. Like we just own it. Like our grips suck, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Derek, like, just barely beat me, like, barely beat us both out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So It's just a grip is, and then the crazy thing is like the only guys that finished it were the first heats, which means they were last from the press medley.
Yeah.
And those guys, you know, and that's the crazy thing. You may not be a big overhead presser, but like you can pull or you can, you know what I mean?
And that's where it comes to just staying consistent.
You got to stay consistent. You cannot bomb. You can't go from here to bomb to here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You have to just run that mid pack and stay super consistent and wait for everybody else to jump around.
Yep.
And and that's something that just like you learn over time. You gotta build up all your arsenals.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, we're this one's gonna be a little bit of a shorter podcast just because we need to go to bed.
We do.
And we'll talk about it more next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. But we just want to keep you guys with the content, keep it coming to you guys here for the next few days. Yeah. So I mean, it's good. So tomorrow we got a lot of fucking work to. Yeah, like I said, we just gotta get some good sleep, and you know, and we'll talk to you tomorrow about what's really going on. Yeah.
So
we appreciate all of our sponsors. Yep. We appreciate everything that you guys have done to help us out.
Absolutely.
Talked to Ken today with Cerberus. That was really cool.
Really cool.
So yeah, we really appreciate you, all you sponsors that sponsor us. We really appreciate all you guys watching, listening, liking, sharing, and subscribing. So we'll skip the chitter chatter with that. But other than that, Mike, I think that's gonna do it. Yep. So stay tuned. We'll come back at you tomorrow with the results of tomorrow before we go out and about.
That's right. Yep. So, appreciate you guys, and stay tuned.
Get some sleep.
That's right.
We'll see you tomorrow. Later.